Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to This is the G Podcast, episode 120. Yes. Let me give it a bigger cheer. Come here, come on, y'all. Come on.
Yeah.
That was the first one was the pre-COVID cheer. This is the the post-COVID cheer. But that's debatable, but we'll get into that a little bit later. What's up, y'all? As we tape episode 120, as the taping begins, happy Women's History Month to everyone, especially the ladies on the podcast, the women on the podcast. I'll give it up for you. Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
And the UN announced their theme for 2022. Let me know if y'all agree with this, and it is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. And their events will recognize how women around the world are responding to climate change. Y'all happy with that? Y'all happy? Everybody good?
Now what now? You had me until you said climate change.
No, the UN announced that their theme for 2022 is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. And their events will recognize how women around the world are responding to climate change. So that's the theme for 2022, according to the UN. That's what the UN. So happy Women's History Month, you sustainable women.
Yeah, I got you. Sustainable. They had me until they threw in the climate change. That is pure foolishness.
Their word
Y'all
more
know,
as an issue.
it's
But why?
we are in a sustainable world, a climate change, reusable, and we'll
What they
get
got
into
to do?
that.
What they
But
got to
wait, but
do?
what does that have to do with gender equality? I'm
Uh,
confused.
UN, ask the UN. That's the
That's
UN.
Let's
that
That's
was
all
do
I
what you
got to
say you
say.
did. Let's
All
go.
right, y'all don't ask. Hey, y'all, I ain't the UN, okay?
you
Finally,
started. You started.
Google UN and ask them, okay? So I'm going on with the business. This is the G podcast. Each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea with the one and only sustainable. Tanya B is in the
Climate change.
building. Y'all give it up for the one and only Tanya B.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Tanya B is in the building. Tanya B, you can catch the Birdwire Friday and Saturday nights, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern, and every Saturday at noon. What you got to say, Tanya B? Open it up. What you got?
What? Oh, okay.
I,
Okay. I'm in a different place, so I hope you can hear me. But like I
I
said,
got you.
real miss me with that BS. That's all I really have to say. Because, like I said,
Okay, all
gender
right.
equality and how much money I make or not compared to any man who may be half as qualified is not going to affect climate change, at least not in my world.
Well, that's the UN, and that's their theme for 2022. Thank you so much, Tanya B. And the country commentators in the building, Vi, repping Columbus, Georgia, and Forsyth, Georgia. Y'all give it up for Vi, y'all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Vi, what say you, brother? What say you? What's going
Hey,
on?
life is good.
Life is good. Okay, good
That's
stuff,
right.
good stuff.
Life is
And the
good.
one and only YO Poetic Peace out of Macon, Georgia is in the building. YO.
What's up,
Mm-hmm.
everybody?
YO, how you doing? What say you? Any
I'm doing
comments? Any?
chill. And I went to a geisha's experience last night, birthday party dinner. I learned a lot. Yeah, I had to research and shit going to it before I went to a party. Like the whole
Wow.
culture.
Oh, she said a geisha, like the whole geisha. I think I saw you on social media. Was it like a red?
Yeah.
You had the Japanese geisha outfit on. Well,
Yeah.
go ahead. How'd you like it?
So
How was it? How'd
it
it
was
turn out?
cool. It was cool. I showed them how to write their name in calligraphy for their place cards, and we did some haikus and some other activities. We had fun. We had a talent show, and of course
Wow.
the talent part.
Wow. Did you sing Sukiyaki?
Say what is that? Read. I forgot how to say that. For me, Konnichiwa. Oh, don't let me mess it up.
Konnichiwa. Well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yes, y'all give it up for a while. Yes, while. And here he is, the one and only K Dub, and that light keeps getting brighter. Like that backlight in the studio keeps getting closer and closer to him. By Easter, it might be like all over him, just
Yeah,
covering him. What's
I
going
up
on?
I up my
Let me give
YO.
hold on, K Dub. Hold on, K. Let me give you some more. K-Dub, let me say something before I go into your spiel. Let you go into your spiel, man. I listen to All the Name is Bootsy. You know how you get in the car and like, what's boom, boom, boom,
Boom,
boom.
boom, 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 boom.
I
Yeah.
jumped in the car, man, and I thought about you, brother. I said, damn, K-Dub would be in a good
Mm-mm-mm.
place. So how you
Yeah.
doing, brother? How's dating? How's everything,
Oh
man?
man, we up here dealing with climate change. It was almost
See,
70.
Tanya B.
So
It was what?
it was almost 70, but we'll be back down to 30 in a few days. So
See, Tanya B?
climate change.
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Hmm.
I don't get
Okay,
it.
okay, okay.
I'm with Tanya B. I
Like
don't get it.
whatever.
Yeah.
Don't
All
get it.
right, yeah, you don't get it. And I'm your host, Tommy B. Check out Throwback Alley midnight Sunday, 6 a.m. and then Sundays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Y'all check it out. And I got to say thank you so much and give him his applause from last week. The very wonderful Tracey Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracey Lee did his thing last week of Black History Month. Yes, man. Thank you so much for being on last week. We really appreciate it. Got some great feedback on that episode, and got to have him back. Got to, have him back and do, like we said on the show, do a roundtable. So appreciate you, Tracey Lee. All right, let's do this, y'all. We're going to go in and jump into Syracuse Mike early, and we will come back and talk about all this stuff going on. There is more in the world than Ukraine, and we will talk about it when we get right back. Here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Senate Bill 319 has passed with support from the Republican majority. If it passes in the State House, it would eliminate the need for Georgians to get a license to carry handguns. Most Democrats oppose the bill, saying it would make it easier for people to get a gun. SB 319 would allow a lawful weapons carrier to carry a concealed handgun everywhere license holders currently are allowed. You would still not be able to carry a gun in secured areas of the airport or government buildings that have security. Certain convictions would also prevent people from purchasing a gun, and background checks will still be required when buying a handgun from a store or dealer. Former 41 NBC weatherman and beloved broadcaster Silas Alexander has passed away after battling pancreatic cancer. Alexander worked in the Macon market in the 1980s before a lengthy radio career in Atlanta, where he was known on the air as Cy-Man Baby. Alexander was 58. President Biden hit the road Wednesday, a day after his State of the Union address. The focus, his agenda to deal with inflation and pandemic recovery. The president was speaking at a union event at the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where he also talked about infrastructure jobs.
Invest in America, educate the American people, grow the workforce.
He also took time to address the situation in Ukraine.
We send an unmistakable signal to Ukraine and to the world that we, the United States of America, stand with the Ukrainian people. We stand with them.
Russian troops are now focused on 5 cities, including the capital. Ukraine says nearly 2,000 civilians have been killed as of Wednesday. The UN General Assembly voted to demand Russia stop the war. The UN also says nearly 1 million people have fled the country. There have been widespread reports that authorities in Ukraine and in Poland have delayed or turned away Africans and people of color, many of them students scrambling to escape the war. Reports of preferential treatment for Ukrainians and discrimination of others have spread through social media. The UN has also voiced their concern and urged countries to open their borders to everyone. Ukraine's foreign minister said that Africans seeking evacuation need to have equal opportunities to return to their home countries safely. Several African students have told reporters that up until the war, they were treated well by people in Ukraine. The Special House Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack have issued a subpoena to Kimberly Guilfoyle, a former Fox News host. They want to know about her conversations with former President Trump. This move a day after the committee for the first time said they have evidence indicating that Trump and others engaged in a criminal conspiracy to defraud the United States. So what's the White House saying about the reports of racism by Africans and other people of color trying to flee Ukraine? AURN's Ebony McMorris obtained the following statement. It reads,
"We are deeply concerned about the reports and have raised the issue with the Ukrainians and the regional governments. We firmly believe any individuals fleeing from the violence in Ukraine, regardless of nationality, should be afforded the ability to seek international protection, and anything else is unacceptable. We have received assurances that the UN, Ukrainian authorities, and governments in
What happened here? Did we flip off? Okay, here we go.
Assemble!
All right, we're going to go back, y'all.
Time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Senate Bill 319 has passed with support from the Republican majority. If it passes in the State House, it would eliminate the need for Georgians to get a license to carry handguns. Most Democrats oppose the bill, saying it would make it easier for people to get a gun. SB 319 would allow a lawful weapons carrier to carry a concealed handgun everywhere license holders currently are allowed. You would still not be able to carry a gun in secured areas of the airport or government buildings that have security. Certain convictions would also prevent people from purchasing a gun, and background checks will still be required when buying a handgun from a store or dealer. Former 41 NBC weatherman and beloved broadcaster Silas Alexander has passed away after battling pancreatic cancer. Alexander worked in the Macon market in the 1980s before a lengthy radio career in Atlanta, where he was known on the air as Cy-Man Baby. Alexander was 58. President Biden hit the road Wednesday, a day after his State of the Union address. The focus, his agenda to deal with inflation and pandemic recovery. The president was speaking at a union event at the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where he also talked about infrastructure jobs.
Invest in America, educate the American people, grow the workforce.
He also took time to address the situation in Ukraine.
We send an unmistakable signal to Ukraine and to the world that we, the United States of America, stand with the Ukrainian people. We stand with them.
Russian troops are now focused on 5 cities, including the capital. Ukraine says nearly 2,000 civilians have been killed as of Wednesday. The UN General Assembly voted to demand Russia stop the war. The UN also says nearly 1 million people have fled the country. There have been widespread reports that authorities in Ukraine and in Poland have delayed or turned away Africans and people of color, many of them students scrambling to escape the war. Reports of preferential treatment for Ukrainians and discrimination of others have spread through social media. The UN has also voiced their concern and urged countries to open their borders to everyone. Ukraine's foreign minister said that Africans seeking evacuation need to have equal opportunities to return to their home countries safely. Several African students have told reporters that up until the war, they were treated well by people in Ukraine. The Special House Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack have issued a subpoena to Kimberly Guilfoyle, a former Fox News host. They want to know about her conversations with former President Trump. This move a day after the committee for the first time said they have evidence indicating that Trump and others engaged in a criminal conspiracy to defraud the United States. So what's the White House saying about the reports of racism by Africans and other people of color trying to flee Ukraine? AURN's Ebony McMorris obtained the following statement. It reads,
"We are deeply concerned about the reports and have raised the issue with the Ukrainians and the regional governments. We firmly believe any individuals fleeing from the violence in Ukraine, regardless of nationality, should be afforded the ability to seek international protection, and anything else is unacceptable. We have received assurances that the UN, Ukrainian authorities, and governments in the region are committed to fair and equal treatment of all seeking to depart the country. They are looking into these reports and committed to responding appropriately."
That's Ebony McMorris. Most Africans in Ukraine are there for a high-quality education at what they say are affordable rates. While many black people have tried to flee Ukraine, some are afraid to make the trek to the borders. Not guilty. That's the conclusion of a jury after 3 hours of deliberations in the case of a former Louisville police detective. Brent Hankinson was charged in connection to the Breonna Taylor case. Hankinson was acquitted on charges of wanton endangerment. He was actually on trial for firing shots into a neighboring apartment 2 years ago during the botched drug raid, which left Taylor dead. No other officers were charged in connection to what happened that night. Breonna Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, left the courtroom after the verdict and declined to speak with reporters.
Hey, y'all. If you're listening, if you check us out live, we had a quick hiccup, but we're back on track. Appreciate you. But in the meantime, after last week, we had such a good week for Black justice. Just went to hell in a handbasket, a partial handbasket this week. And I've been saying this back maybe since the Trayvon Martin case. Settlements aren't really true justice. I get it. I think that we should, without a doubt, look at opportunities where we can get a settlement possibly after the trials, do a civil case. But, if we don't get the justice, the prosecution, criminal prosecutions first, a lot of these folks will, a lot of these issues are going to be repeated. So, the good thing is when you look at true justice, you look at the Ahmaud Arbery case, you had the guilt prosecution, and these guys are going to jail. But keep in mind that if without that video, this whole thing, the whole Ahmaud Arbery case would have never happened. And unfortunately, fortunately, that DA that wanted to sweep it all under the rug is about to go on trial. But, I look at the Breonna Taylor situation, and again, there was a settlement up front. It wasn't much. You talk about $12 million 13 million most recently on the Breonna Taylor side. I think Trayvon Martin was only maybe $1 million, if that. That's all they settled for, you know.
Well, you know,
And-
Ben Crump got his 20%.
Yeah, yeah. You know, so I just think we have to be careful when it comes down to going for settlements, because I don't believe and let me ask y'all. I'll ask the panel. You know, do you think it takes the pressure off the prosecutor if they settle? You know, if you settle for a large amount of money and then come back and try to prosecute, you say yes, right? You say yes?
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off. What about you, YL? You think it takes the pressure off the prosecution if there's a big settlement up front?
Yeah, I do think I'm positive it does.
Yeah. What about you, K-Dub?
Not the people, but the prosecutors. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the prosecution team. Yeah, and I think and Tanya B's been, you know, she agreed. Tanya B, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, my thing is that, and it's all, to me, it's also an easy way out. You know, they think, throw some money at it and it's going to go away, but that still doesn't. To me, it doesn't really solve anything, because now some of these folks are going to trial, but more often than not, it's just, oh, okay, we're going to settle. And again, by the time you take out Ben Crump getting his cut, then the people that he had to go under, like the lawyers in that particular state where he's not licensed, they get their cut. And then, by the time everybody gets into the pie, there really isn't a whole lot left. It's like people that win the lottery and end up broke. But at the end of the day, throwing a check at somebody, what does that solve? To me, it just makes a statement that, you're for sale. What's your price?
Yeah. And see, I've said this in the past. In a lot of cases, we talked about this, where a lot of these jurisdictions have a fund that they actually put money into that for settlements, for police settlements. So if you talk about, it's almost like an annuity, it's almost like a 401k where that sucker just grows and grows. So if they get sued, then they have this annuity, they have this money that they can dip into to pay off a settlement and just keep it moving. But my whole issue is, somebody like Hankerson, who is basically it didn't even come down to him being charged against Breonna Taylor. It was a charge for reckless endangerment of someone else who was in the apartment complex. They didn't even have a charge against Breonna Taylor. That had moved on, but the settlement was like 12 to 13 million. So in my opinion, I just don't think there was much pressure to do it, even though, I just think the settlement limits, or it takes the pressure off the prosecutor. And in the case of Kentucky, he is Mitch McConnell's boy. So he's going to, he don't care. Keep it moving.
Or at least
somebody said something. Somebody jumped in.
Or at least they should give justice as far as the criminal side too, plus the settlement. Yeah.
If I were, and I'm just saying, best case scenario, while is, it's almost like the OJ situation. Okay. I know it's like OJ, but they didn't get him on the criminal, but they got him on the civil. You know what I'm saying? If they got the blood from a turnip. So in some cases, if we don't get them on the criminal, you come back. But I just think in a lot of cases, it takes the pressure off the prosecutor. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. You can go to our feedback page and give us feedback. I got a couple of things before we get into the tea, but the Biden State of the Union, I'm just not, I kind of suffered through the whole thing. I mean, after the beginning of it, it just, I was looking for a game on ESPN. I'm sorry. I just, I kind of suffered through that.
Me too. And I refuse to suffer. So once I saw that my regular Tuesday night TV shows were not going to be on television, I either went to on demand, and I think I might have watched Buried in the Backyard on Oxygen True Crime or something. I couldn't do it. Not
Buried in the Backyard.
Oh yeah, baby. That's a real show, by the way. I'm not
But I just, if you're betting on that horse, y'all, I just gotta say, Vi, good luck, bro. Good luck.
I didn't even try to watch
it. So I just, that's all I got to say. I heard mixed results, but I tried. And I'm sorry. I got to say this for the news outlets, y'all. The Ukraine coverage. Do you think it's overkill right now? I get it. It's a bad situation, but that is it.
Too much. It's like I don't even watch the news and some of my favorite TV shows, or if I do, I wait till about maybe 20-30 minutes in because that's all it is. And I'm like, enough already. Ugh.
I mean, CNN, MSNBC. I tried to watch Reverend Al as we tape. I tried to watch Reverend Al before, between 5 and 6. They even preempted Reverend Al. So it's like right now, it's 24/7. It's like it's like it took COVID's place. COVID is just been bumped by Ukraine. You don't even hear about COVID.
I'm
Yeah,
not
we
gonna
were
say
just
they
talking
overdoing
about
it
that
because
earlier.
we could have been in the precursor of World War III.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but the issue, Vi, and you've been in the military, Vi. You're the military person on the podcast. My challenge, and I don't want to get into it on this show, is we don't know what information is even correct. Even when it comes down to the death toll, the numbers that are given from, we don't trust Russia. But on the other hand, it's like Ukraine, the difference between what Ukraine's saying and what Russia's saying is so starkly different.
Yep.
I would believe Ukraine before I would believe Russia.
It's such a huge gap when it comes down to the civilian deaths, or the even when it comes down to the military, the soldiers who died. We're not getting any kind of accuracy or anything that we can rely on when it comes down to the numbers.
My thing is, to me, it really don't matter because you're at war. Does it matter how many folks died? Somebody died because they shooting and blowing things up.
Okay.
Why is it so important to know who died or how many died? Know a lot of folks are dying.
Okay. My last thing on the news, and if I, since you on the military side and you seem pretty passionate about this whole situation, here's my thought, and I'm gonna say this, and I love feedback from our podcast audience. If you really want to hurt Russia, you need to stop accepting Russian oil, and even when it comes down to NATO, stop accepting the oil. Now I know a lot of folks will say, well, prices are gonna go up. The problem is that we have, before this, shut down all of our production or most of our production or limited the production in an effort to go green. Now, I would say go ahead and reestablish a lot of that because, one of the things they talk about, the renewable energy, the green energy, it ain't ready right now to help us with these, we're about to be $5-7 a gallon gas prices. Renewable, we can't even get electric cars ramped up. Not enough electric cars on the production line to fill the gap.
And not enough charging stations either, really.
And, absolutely. Stations. So and my point is, go ahead, Brian.
And most of us can't afford electric car.
Yeah. So my point is, the only thing we haven't done in this situation is said to Putin, look, dude, no more oil. We're not buying your oil anymore. And if Europe does that, and what's that? What about what?
What about their vodka?
The vodka?
Nah, we ain't stopping.
But we're not letting them get porn no more.
No, we cut off the porn.
The
porn got cut off.
God, no, go get some French vodka. Is a lot smoother.
Yeah, they cut off the Netflix has cut them off. I mean, but my point is, on a serious note, cut the oil. Stop the oil. Stop importing the oil, the gas, the oil, and then I think this will be they'll be willing to talk. But I think as long as they can produce oil and send it to Europe and send it to the U.S., I just don't think it's incentive enough for them to stop. I think that's the only way.
So that where I think Putin's so deep, he ain't trying to stop. I don't care what y'all do to him. Putin pushed that nuclear bomb. He don't care.
You think so, Vi? You think he'll do it?
Yes. Putin, he's crazy now.
Well, here's what speaking of, and I'm not saying this is crazy because we have people who suffer from it, but there's I don't know if you guys, Marco Rubio and a couple of other Republicans have been posting things on Twitter. And one of the rumors, I don't know if it's real or not, is that Putin has Parkinsons. he's developed Parkinson's disease recently.
I haven't heard.
And so he's not in good health. His health has been impacted. So, we'll see how far he's willing to go. But yeah, I think the Russian people doing without that porn, that Netflix, you know what I'm saying? They're cutting them off of everything.
And mail order brides. Don't forget about that.
That's true.
What's the guy who make all the money from the cars? What his name is?
What's his name? God, crazy. Tesla man.
Tesla.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
He gave Ukraine all the internet right, but he refused to stop doing business with Russia though.
Yeah, and see that's the problem.
And so why we even? I mean, this is the United States. Why we are even letting him have a choice?
Yeah,
Hello.
that's the problem. That's the problem, yo. So my point is, I mean, I don't think it's truly maximum uncomfortable. They haven't reached that maximum limit for Vlad yet. So when they get to that point, then I think you'll see the negotiations pop up. But any thoughts, y'all? Any other thoughts before I leave the news? There's a whole lot going on. Are
we going to end up with, was it back in the late 70s? And remember when they had the gas rations?
Oh, damn. Please don't say that.
I really hope we don't go back to that. But my thing is, and I have a hybrid, I am more aware of where I'm going. So when I go out, I have a strategy and a plan. I go out, I go A, B, C, D, back home. I'm not just yang riding around the neighborhood.
Well, I don't think you got to worry about them rationing gas. Because gas prices getting so high, a lot of folks can't afford to buy the gas.
Well, you remember, and I remember, I mean, we're talking about the Carter administration. This was right before Reagan took over in the 80s, in 1980. And you had, the gas. I remember, my family, the gas lines, had developed. It was crazy. I mean, it was nuts. So I just hope we don't get to that. So, we'll see. But bottom line is, we have enough. I know we talk about the reserves, but we really need to be talking about production so that we can, why would you continue to give or take money from people who can do you harm? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you're doing business with the mob.
They don't care. They said, well, he ain't bombing America. We talk a lot.
But you know what?
We talk a lot, but are we willing to back it up?
But it's within reach.
You're right, but I'm saying we talk like Teflon. Why we letting this guy do this?
Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. You can always.
There's a lot that's not.
Go ahead, Wild.
Tommy B. There's a lot that's not being discussed too. We don't know if the U.S. is in bed with Russia somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
You have a lot of people to think about. One of them own the New Jersey Nets.
I don't know.
Yeah. That the New Jersey Net owner is Russia because they Putin trying to get him to sell it. So how you gonna be with Russia and you own a basketball team in the United States?
Well, I mean they're going after the oligarchs. They are all the oligarchs who own property here, who own teams, who own boats, anything like that, yachts. They're confiscating a lot of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the interest in a lot of these teams and franchises and businesses gets yanked. I wouldn't be surprised, no matter how good a guy they are. Okay. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and keep it moving. And y'all know what time it is. We've been waiting for it all week. Here we go.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tanya B.
We've been waiting for it all week, but really have we?
Oh my.
And she's in a remote location this week, y'all. So bear with her,
Yes.
Bear with her a little bit. She gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right, Tanya B. Go ahead. What you got?
Oh man, where do I start? Where do I start? First of all, I just want to say, what in the Morris Day and the time is going on at the Prince Estate? You see Morris Day went to social media, and although he claims that he had, 40 years of this relationship with Prince, they fell out, they made up, and towards the end of his life, they really had kind of mended fences and actually spent a lot of time together. But now Morris Day went on social media, I believe it was Friday, and said that the Prince Estate had informed him that he can no longer use the name Morris Day and the time in any capacity. And that sounds crazy, because if you think about it, you can put anybody behind Morris Day at the time, but Morris Day is the brand. And to tell him that he can't use his name, I mean, when he was a solo artist, he was just what? Morris Day. And now the estate is saying, well, that's not really what we said, and we're going to try to work it out. And now they're backpedaling and yang. And my thing, what is this, a money grab? Or, I get it, but like, why? The estate's already worth over $154 million. So how much, what else do they want? I think, he has spent, like he said, more than 40 years building that brand. He's always continued to work. And that's how he and those guys feed their family. So there's more to this. But I don't know who's over there at the Prince estate, but they need to go outside in the purple rain and get it together, because everybody, I looked at social media, and Morris Day has a lot of support, and people are just like, what?
But see, you know what? I'll be honest with you, Tanya B. This is why when Prince did certain things, he did them for a reason. When he just got out of the way. And I mean, if Prince were alive, this shit would never be happening right now.
No,
it wouldn't be happening. And see, that's why it concerns me, or concerned me. And I told you this, when they start pulling the family people back in, that this shit was going to be happening. This craziness, this stupidity was going to start cropping up. Go ahead. What you got? You nodding, K-Dub. What you got? You got any thoughts, K-Dub?
You got it, like you said, you can imagine. Crazy. Some people that's probably never ever in a circle anyway, musical, business wise. I just didn't get it. I saw the media and I was like, that's just crazy. Yeah, I just think when it comes down to it, and I'll throw it back to you, Tanya B, a lot of the family stuff is deep rooted, and it's more than business. Some of it's personal. And they're just like, oh, we're gonna get that motherfucker now, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I mean, my goodness, they now have more money than they've ever had in their lifetime.
But again, it's more than money, Tanya B. When you start getting some of these personal feelings, people want to get people back. It becomes vendetta time. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody had a vendetta, and just said, look, we just gonna shake it up a little bit. They know they're not gonna really do it. Because honestly, and you and I, we know the story of the time was really Prince's creation. He created that, that first album was Prince, and Morris Day did the vocals. He didn't even have a band. They just started.
You're right. And to that I say, and again, here we see what happens when you pass away and you don't have your business affairs in order. Morris Day, we mended our fences and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
but ain't nobody got nothing in writing. Mended fences with nothing in writing. You mended fences, you got no contract.
Exactly. So the only people that will make anything from this really is attorneys, if they go back and forth in court and litigate and mediate and whatnot. I just think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the time was Jamie Starr.
But think about it. We knew like the original unit of the time, but again, I say you could take Alvin and the Chipmunks and Louis Belson's big band and put them behind Morris Day. And again, Morris Day is the voice. It's almost like saying, the Gap Band, you think and it's Charlie Wilson, because his brothers didn't sing lead. So when you think and you hear that name, you think Gap Band, Charlie Wilson. When you hear Morris Day in the time, of course, you think Morris Day. And come on.
But I'll say this. I'll say this, and go ahead, K-Dub. What would you say?
Facing his personality made that work. Not saying that it wouldn't have, but he was special in making that work, just like he was in him, because he was the one that really made the movie jump.
But when you go back and you look at the songwriting, whose name on the songs? Jamie Starr.
I get it.
Jamie Starr.
I get it. But I'm like,
I'm just saying. Yeah. What you got next time, you mean?
The only thing more ridiculous than that is the fact that Al B. Shore is now calling himself a celebrity boxer. If you're going to be down in, I call it Frantic, Atlantic City, on March 26th at the Showboat Hotel, he's fighting somebody called the Latin Lover. I have no idea who that is.
How old is Al B. Shore?
He's supposed to be doing this Tootsie Roll, and that's for sure.
He's 60.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
He never did the claim.
What did Chris Rock? What did Chris Tucker in Friday looking over Debo? You got knocked up.
Here's what I say about that. This is just To me, it's bad comedy, and here is why I say that.
Oh God.
It's bad comedy because you've got, and maybe Al needs money, I don't know,
Oh.
but the ring announcer is Flavor Flav.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
boy.
Yeah, thank you. The entertainment is Kid and Play.
Oh man.
And
Somebody heard that.
wait, the commentary, because they couldn't afford Snoop Dogg, they went and got Gilly the Kid. I'm like, you know
Lord
what?
Jesus.
This is going to be comedy. It's going to
No,
be bad
somebody go get hurt.
Well, it's gonna be more of
I'm
a
like, Al B.
tragedy.
Sure, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Why?
wait, when Al B. Sure was out in the back in the day, he couldn't sing and dance at the same time. So how was he going to be able to stick and move with the extra, 60, 70 pounds he's dragging?
Yeah, it's hey Tanya B, it's gonna be more night than day.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna get the daylights knocked out of him. That's what that's gonna be.
It's gonna be darkness.
Throw in the towel. Throw in the towel. Throw in the damn towel.
He need to do something. Like that basketball player named
What
Chris.
is his management?
It's a joke.
about this?
Well, you know, I mean, he's been a quiet storm DJ for like the last 20 years.
Oh, he's been a horrible quiet storm DJ. Let's call a thing a thing.
What you tell you?
The only thing worse than him is Keith Sweat. Let's call a thing a thing, yo. Come on.
What you got next, Tanya B?
But did he just get over COVID?
Oh, that was his cousin that had COVID. I heard Al B. Sure had a bad reaction from gastric bypass, but you didn't hear me say that.
See, that's why Tanya B ain't on camera. That's why she's not up on camera this week.
Allegedly.
Talking big shit.
Al B. Sure could be knocking at the door.
I know it.
Look, I don't make the news. I just report it.
Girl, this love is so. What you got next? What you got next?
No, Anita Baker, there's been all this brouhaha about Anita Baker's Las Vegas residency. It's supposed to kick off May 27th at the Venetian Hotel. But I think there might be janky promoter involved in this.
Oh, no.
The tickets are still not for sale. You call the Venetian Hotel, nobody knows anything.
Oh, Lord.
Anita Baker's social media just says, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. So I think in the name of Anita Baker, she needs to cut her ties with this Yankee promoter who can't even get the tickets printed. Because you know, if she don't have her bag, she's not going to hit the stage, okay? That she's not going to do. And maybe she needs to find somebody else or do it herself, because this is not fly. So all you can do in place of that.
Well, you and I can smell this a mile away, Tanya B. You know
I'm not going to say anything.
You know what this is about to be. But anyway. What you got next? What you got next? I'll look at it.
Okay. I want to tell you that Jussie Smollett needs to go sit down. Jussie Smollett was found guilty of that fake hate crime in Chicago, all the way down to the Subway sandwich. And now he wants a new trial because he's claiming his civil rights were violated. I'm like, really, boy? Really? So I guess he's just taking his residual money from Empire and paying his attorneys because he needs to go somewhere and sit down.
You can't even write a joke about it. You can't even joke about it. It's just so.
It's crazy. He can't even. You don't have a job. The more I think now he's probably too deep into the abyss of the untruth. But please.
That's the best way to put it. The abyss of the untruth.
Why did he lie about it anyway? I don't know.
Because he wanted attention and he thought that Empire would pay him more money and he'd get sympathy.
Okay.
Oof. Anyway. All right, what else you got, Tony?
Another thing I think is going to backfire is the fact that Lisa Bonet has allegedly reconciled with Jason Momoa. Her family is not pleased. They don't like him. They thought he abused her, treated her bad. And now he was the one that was allegedly cheating and spending all this money before, it could even, the check would clear. And, he had been living in his friend's driveway in a $750,000 Winnebago. And I hear now he's back in the marital home.
Well, you know what? She gets anything she wants for producing Zoe Kravitz in as Catwoman in the Batman. So she gets.
I'm just saying.
Lisa deserves that just for having Zoe, because Zoe is killing it this week.
Look, a $750,000 Winnebago can't be bad.
I know that's right.
No, but here's my thing. I mean, he's on a roll, but does he really have that kind of money? Again, he was spending money like Michael Jackson in Thriller, and it wasn't there.
I don't know, Tanya B. I mean, I don't. That situation is.
Look,
You know, I don't know that. Do you think? Yeah, you're right. It's terrible, but it's just timing wise that the story comes up the week of the Batman when Zoe is just on top of the world right now.
Let me say, Zoe ain't stunting them people.
No, she's not. Her and Lenny, like whatever.
You see, Lenny hasn't. Usually Lenny is praising Jason Momoa because then he took the problem. Lenny Kravitz's former problem became Jason Momoa's problem. So Lenny's doing a praise dance somewhere in the jungle.
I'm just saying. Y'all don't take Zoe's shine. All right, what you got next?
I want to tell you about Grace Franklin. She is the granddaughter of the legendary queen of soul, Aretha Franklin, and she got her bubble busted by Lionel Richie, who's trying to be more edgy. When she went to audition for American Idol, she's not going to Hollywood, baby. They gave her a one-way ticket back to Detroit on the freeway of love. And some great advice from Lionel Richie, who told her to go and grow her voice. She was not ready for the world or American Idol. They sent her home.
I'm so tired of American Idol. I'm with
like, who watches these base model talent shows anyway?
But I'm with what you remember I did the segment that from Dave Grohl. I agree. I still agree with Dave Grohl from Nirvana. These shows, man, they do more harm, in my opinion, to the talent base than good. And with the exception of Kelly Clarkson, what's the country girl? I always forget her name.
Carrie Underwood.
I mean, Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson.
And Fanny. But I mean, if you look at 20 years or 20 seasons, whatever it is, of American Idol, and you only have 5 people, and these other base model shows like X Factor and The Voice, they don't produce any stars at all.
No. And the talent that they do choose is mediocre, and they give them these bad deals, these horrible record deals that that basically don't pay them anything. All the money goes to the company.
And they control what they sing too.
They control everything. They control the image. They control the songs. So it's just it's just a machine. All it is a machine. It's like the Matrix.
Your best bet on one of these base model talent shows is not to win.
It's the Matrix.
You're right.
I want to tell you about, speaking of American Idol.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Some of the ones from overseas. Have you guys happen to see some of those? Like on social media?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when it comes down to talent wise, I'll just be honest. I mean, you don't have, again, it's like a machine created talent. You don't have really a natural base of talent that or that's authentic and organic. You know what I'm saying? These are just machine. It's just like I said. The Matrix describes it the best when it comes down to a lot of these talent shows. The Matrix. All right, Tanya B. Let's go ahead and get it wrapped.
Okay, and Jennifer Hudson. I want to let you know that her daytime talk show is coming at TV in the fall. I'll give her one season. Maybe I'll be surprised I don't see it. Now, she's supposed to be the new flagship daytime TV talk show. Ellen DeGeneres and her production company are involved, and I guess she's going to take that time slot. She's actually going to end up being in over 60% of the homes in America between Fox and Hearst. And I think maybe they're getting her ready and hoping that she will replace that Titanic of a talk show called Nick Cannon.
But you know what? Right now, it's all about the ratings. If the ratings stick, and she does well, so be it. But it's going to be about the ratings. I mean, it's always about the ratings, ultimately.
Absolutely. But, can she do it? And, again, who will she be up against? Will she be up against Tamron Hall? Nobody talks about the talk anymore. No shade. Cheryl Underwood just got a new deal, and she's like the Whoopi Goldberg of the talk. But ain't nobody talking about that. And, just looking at what's out there, Sherry Shepherd. Anyway, moving on.
All right. Appreciate you, Tanya B. Go ahead. One more thing, and I'll jump in. Go ahead.
Okay. One more thing I want to tell you is that if you recall when Lena Waithe got that Hillman Grad Productions and that's some kind of crazy record deal, but what she's doing now is that she's joined forces with Timbaland and Swiss Beats. Are going over to Amazon Prime, and they are going to present a Versus documentary.
Okay.
The making thereof, and when they tried to charge people and people revolted. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And don't forget, Winning Time, the story of the 80s LA Lakers, comes on HBO tonight. Check it out.
All right, cool. All right, we'll see. All right, I got a couple of things. You know, the main thing, we were talking about the series Atlanta, and Atlanta actually is going to be on March 24th with Donald Glover and his show. So it'll be back on March 24th. I was thinking it was going to be in the fall, but it's actually coming back on March 24th. There is an I Am Legend sequel, which I was wondering whether or not that was going to happen, and yes, it is. Michael B. Jordan is supposedly going to be leading. Will Smith got that deep money. Yeah, well, they left an opportunity for it to be open, so we'll see.
Who liked the first one?
I did. I love it. Yeah, I did.
Will Smith.
Yeah,
Will Smith and the dog. The whole show.
I thought I Am Legend was well done. I thought it was good. I was impressed with it. So I'm a fan of it. So I'm a fan. Okay. The other thing is I saw the Batman this week.
So did I.
And I'm gonna give my review, and you tell me your thoughts. I mean,
did you pay the extra? Did you pay the extra surcharge or not?
No, I didn't. I saw that sucker for like less than 10.
Less than 10.
Yes.
I paid at least 12.
No. I saw the matinee, and I went in for the review, and I did not pay extra. I only paid extra for some salty, nasty popcorn. That was pretty much it. But let me give the review. Y'all give me your thoughts. I saw it, and the thing is, it's 3 hours long, y'all. So all I got to do is say, use your bathroom, do what you got to do before you go in there.
Oh, but it is no intermission.
Stop.
No intermission.
Turn your mic off.
Oh, please.
I'm gonna mute your mic.
I'll mute myself.
Mute yourself. It's about 3 hours long. So when you hear people talk about its dark theme, I'll give you a comparison. I'm not gonna give any spoilers. But if you ever saw the movie The Crow, you watched Seven, The Dark Knight. It's kind of like all those movies rolled into one. It's like the scenery, the whole vibe is almost like rain all the time. It's dark. It's a really kind of a dreary scene movie. I was impressed with the cast more than anything. I did not think that Pattinson, Edward from Twilight, could do it, but I was impressed. And I honestly think, in my opinion, he's probably going to wind up being the top Batman of all time. That's just my opinion. I mean, I thought what's his name? Keaton was.
Keaton? Really?
No, not Keaton. No. I think Pattinson, if I'm saying his name right, Edward from, I just call him Edward from Twilight, which I wasn't a Twilight. Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is going to be the number one Batman eventually of all time if he stays the course. Zoe Kravitz is amazing as Catwoman. She's perfect for it. That's why I'm saying don't steal her shine with these crazy stories about her mama. She did an excellent job in the movie. Jeffrey Wright is in it. He plays Detective Gordon, and he is amazing as well. I thought he did a phenomenal job. You're not going to be able to really tell that Colin Farrell is Penguin in here, but he is actually the Penguin. He does a great job. It's just a perfect movie for the time, considering that we're coming out of COVID, considering we've been in quarantine for so long. The whole vibe of the movie kind of fits that. And even more so, it kind of deals with the fact that we can't trust these fucking leaders. We can't trust our people. We can't trust politicians, even more so. So it deals with those kind of themes. But I was impressed. I think if you want to compare it to a movie, probably compare this Batman closer to the Joker. If you saw the Joker, the most recent Joker, with Joaquin Phoenix. I think it's closer to the Joker. It's more of a detective movie than it is a superhero movie. I heard people talking about trying to compare it to Spider-Man. You can't compare it to Marvel Spider-Man. It's on its own, but I'll rank it, even when you talk about it. And I get deep because Batman is that's my wheelhouse. I've seen them all, studied them all. And I really think that this Batman, even when people talk about the most recent, The Dark Knight Rises, Christopher Nolan, it's right up there. It's probably the number two. The only other Batman I would put above it would be Dark Knight Rises. But I think, I was impressed. Even 3 hours, I'm like, I drank, I had the big drink So I had the big drink. I drank it all. Got down to 3 hours. I'm like, I'm squirming, but I had to wait. I held on. 3 hours, y'all. I have not seen a 3 hour movie in a theater probably since the damn Godfather. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a while since I sat in, but you don't notice it. You really don't. It goes by. It is a slow burn in some cases, but for the most part, there's always something going on. It ain't no joke. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Zoe, mid-30s, she kicking. She the best. I mean, when it comes down to Catwoman, Hallie, you can't give her any advice on this. What's her name? What's the white girl Catwoman? The high.
Pfeiffer?
Oh no. I forgot her name. I'm talking about the other one, the most recent Catwoman, highest paid actress. She was in Ella Enchanted.
It doesn't matter. She doesn't.
It doesn't matter. She didn't count. She didn't count anymore. Oh yeah, come on.
All the way
Well,
back.
maybe in Eartha's day, but nah. But I gotta say it. I mean, I rank it among the top. It's got to be probably, definitely number 2, top 3. All right, Vi, what you got to say?
I'm a comic book savant. I love superhero movies.
Savant.
That movie, it was, if you want real, that's what you got.
It's real.
That's what it was. But Batman is not supposed to be real.
Yes, he is, Vi. Yes, he is. He is supposed to. Let me tell you, he is.
He's supposed to be brilliant, the smartest detective in the world. He did not seem like the smartest detective in the world in the movie. I said, "Damn, Batman, he done to be Batman." This stuff that happened to him. Good grief. It will be Batman. You are a genius.
No, I disagree with you. I disagree with you, Vi.
Batman
Let me tell you why I disagree. Okay. Alfred was the one Alfred and Alfred's tools and the whole toolkit that he made for him. Alfred always thought ahead for Batman. He always looked out. No, yes, it is. If you look, don't be going back to Eartha Kitt, back to the 60s Batman. But even if you look at the most recent, Alfred always thought ahead. Now, Batman, I agree. This is probably the most vulnerable Batman you'll ever see. I think dumb is let me say it. Dumb is the wrong word. Vulnerable is the right word. He's vulnerable. He's vulnerable.
He is dumb for Batman.
You did. You said dumb. No, but I think he's vulnerable. And that's why I think when it comes down to it, he's more vulnerable. But he has a reason. He has a reason for being vulnerable. He has a reason for being vulnerable.
And he was getting his butt kicked. Batman don't get his butt kicked.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Look, did you not see the Bane? Did you not see Dark Knight Rises?
Okay, Bane. These are just regular human beings kicking Batman's butt.
Look, the man is human. He is not Spider-Man. He does not have superhuman strength. He is a man with gadgets, and he's rich. Okay, so
what gadget he had besides the done grappler?
He had the gadget. He had the grabber. He had the vehicle. He had the gadget. But again, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give you one, and I'm gonna come back with the last word. The movie was intended to be vulnerable, make him vulnerable, and it did what it intended to do. I think it worked.
But it disappointed.
So I'm thinking you guys read the comic books, right? You guys read Batman.
I was deep into it. I read all the comics. I mean, for the most part,
I've been
following comic book. I got a Batman flag that I've had for like 5-6 years.
Batman supposed to be like the greatest martial artist in the world. Supposed to be the most smartest detective in the world.
But he got his ass kicked he got his ass kicked in Dark Knight Rises. He got his back broken.
Because Bane was superhuman, but the Batman came back.
So you contradicting yourself. You contradicting yourself. Yes, you are.
Batman, I said Bane is superhuman. I get that, but
no, he's not. Bane does not have like Spider-Man superhuman strength. He is not Superman. He is not Superman. Now there are other characters. Yeah. All right.
But I'm saying
so forget the fighting. Was it a good movie or not?
I mean, if you want the realism, yeah.
Okay.
If you want the comic book Batman, no.
Okay, so you gonna stay on the Marvel side?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, because the Joker was just like this. The Joker was the same way. Have you seen the Joker?
Can't watch it.
See, you need to stay over there where
bad
Spider-Man,
Why are you making a move about a bad guy?
See, can y'all help me for a minute?
Why are you making a move about a bad guy?
Yeah, I just
passionate
want to know
about the
one
thing.
thing about this.
Was
This
Aunt
whole
Harriet in
Batman.
there?
I mean, Batman
Was
would
who?
let Batman would let guys like me and Bako beat him up.
Oh hell no, bye. See, what movie did you see?
If I like 5 or 6 guys,
Hey, Vi, were you at the pub? Were you drinking and watching this movie?
If about like 5 or 6 guys like me, you beating them up with guns.
No,
I got a question.
we saw the same. We saw a different movie. Go ahead, Tanya B. Go ahead, Tanya B. I recommend it, and I will give it. I give it out of 5 stars. I give it 4 out of 5. Go ahead, Tanya B.
3.5.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to know who played Robin and who played Aunt Harriet.
What no Robin?
Ain't no Robin.
No Robin.
What happened to Robin?
They hadn't gotten there yet.
They ain't got that.
But I will say this. No, I'm not gonna say it. But they reveal some characters toward the end that may be coming up, because within the universe of Gotham, a lot of these characters exist, but they just haven't been revealed yet. Okay,
but I can see Robin coming, because that guy who got his parents killed.
Yeah, I can see it coming.
And then Batman really didn't solve the case. He let Gotham got flooded.
Why you don't get it? Hey, Vi, we gonna have we need to have Vi done spoiled it, but Vi, you don't get the whole concept of why they did this movie the way they did it. They did it.
Why they did it.
They did it. But let me ask you, Vi, if you knew it was going to be real and realistic, because they said up front, it is a detective movie. It is not a superhero movie. It really does. I mean, let me see the hands. Have y'all ever seen Seven, the movie Seven with what's his Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt? You ever seen Seven?
That would be no.
Okay. All right. If you've seen detective movies, have you seen The Crow?
That would be no.
Okay. A lot of the movies that are what they call them noir, NOI, are detective type movies. This is more of a detective movie than it is a superhero. It is a detective movie. So if with that being said, I liked it more than you did. I didn't go into it wanting to see a superhero movie. Yeah.
Vi says the detective. Yeah. He should have been a detective and with superhero powers.
See, Vi wanted to see somebody flying through the air and people bending bars.
Batman is human. I expect him to kick their butt.
He gets punched. He gets hit. That's the case.
He got his butt kicked.
Are you crazy? All right, y'all. All right, what else? Tanya B, you got any last comments on this before we leave? Any other comments? Any other feedback on the review as a whole? I give it 4 out of 5. I give it 4 out of 5. He gives it 3.5. He's a half a point off. Yeah, 3.5. I give it 4. But the length of it is not for everybody. If you're not into it, that 3 hours will be kicking your ass. I will tell you that. It will be kicking your ass.
All right, y'all. 3 hours. He means 3 hours now.
All right. Hey, we're not going to take a break. We're going to go into it, but go to castropolis.net, click our link. Everything G Podcast is there, the podcast, the stream, social media, email. Plus, I got to say, if you got a jitterbug like Vi, if you got a jitterbug phone and you know.
Hey, AT&T shut down 3G. Ask my mother.
No, but if you need the link and you can't find it anywhere, write the number down. I'll make sure I have it on social media. You can text GPOD, GPOD to 470-928-1255. Okay, just text GPOD, which is GPOD, to 470-928-1255. Text it, and the link to the player will come to your phone. If you're listening to the podcast, go ahead and do it now. Keep that link, and that's the link to the player, which allows you to listen to the show and allows you to actually subscribe to the show. Again, you can text GPOD to 470-928-1255. The link will come to your phone, and then you'll have that keep that player, keep it somewhere on your phone, and then you're good to go. All right. Hey, a couple of things, and I want to, before we close, I want to send out, on a serious note, heartfelt, deep condolences to my former Troy State University classmate, the former two-term mayor, Pritchard, Alabama, Mr. Ron Davis. Gotta just say, my condolences to his family. Services were held. I say his name right, Vi? Did I get the name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ron Davis.
Yeah, and services for Ron were held in Mobile this past week. Ron was a class act, man, a leader of men, hell of a track star in college, at the university. And in lieu of flowers, I'll make sure I have the memorial fund that's been established for him on this podcast page. But again, to the family in Mobile and the crew, got to definitely say, our condolences, my condolences to Ron and his family. Just a good brother, man, good brother. And he will definitely be missed. Only just a few years older than myself. So, a lot of us are passing. Look at the death of Simon. And you didn't. I don't think, Tanya B, you mentioned Johnny Brown.
Yeah, I want to say Bookman from Good Times, gone on to glory at age 84, and also we lost some. And I know why, I know this was before you were born, but this was one of those songs that was a banger and still today. Denroy Morgan, I'll Do Anything for You. He just passed away at the age of 76, and one other person that passed away. And for those of us that are grown and of a certain age, remember in the 70s the group Blue Magic. They had amazing choreography, amazing, their whole presentation. They had those songs like Spell, Stop to Start, Let the Sideshow Begin, and a bunch of others. And Richard Pratt, who was the founding member of Blue Magic, suddenly passed away. And I just want to shout out to him. They are part of the fabric of the sound of Philadelphia, although not part of the Gamblin' Huff stable. But Blue Magic gave us hits on racks on hits back in the 70s. They were it, and the harmonies were off the chain. So yeah, we just losing people left and right. So it's a cautionary tale.
Good stuff. Appreciate it. And you know what, I'm gonna have to tell y'all to put your earmuffs on for a minute, because I really got to say something. Put your earmuffs. You don't like language? Go ahead. Put the earmuffs on the kids if they're in the back seat listening to the show. I gotta say this, y'all. Fuck Aaron Rodgers, y'all. Fuck him. Please stop talking about him. The Packers need to please. No. Don't go yet. I ain't finished, Tanya B. The Packers need to let him go. I mean, if I were running the Packers, and I just got to say this, if I was running the Packers right now, I would go get Tom Brady, because he don't know what he want to do yet. I would go get if you want one more year, because that's all you're going to get out of Aaron Rodgers, 1 or 2 more years, go get Tom Brady. But let Rodgers go. All this foolishness about getting paid more dude, you killing your own team, and you hadn't gone to a Super Bowl in 11 years. Fuck him, y'all. I can't believe we having these why are we having these conversations like he's the new NFL? Why?
Because he's Aaron Rodgers.
I don't care. He's done. He's over. He pissed in his pants in the playoffs. He shit his pants. He's done. And he's a weirdo. He needs to go. I'm just tired of it. Go, dude. As a matter of fact, go to Jeopardy. I hope Jeopardy needs to give him a slot. They don't even want him. They don't even want him.
His girlfriend left.
They don't want him.
We don't want ya.
He's just a weird ass dude. Let him go. The other thing is, yes. The other thing, and I got to give another fuck the Brooklyn Nets. Stop talking about the Brooklyn Nets like they're going to win it all. They lost again. How many games have they lost? 5, 6 in a row? Kyrie.
How many games have they won? Let's look at
That's what I'm saying. Kyrie cannot play a home game. Kevin Durant is still not 100%. Stop talking about, the reason, this is not a sports show, okay? But they elevate these teams like the only teams in the NBA and NFL.
Yep, they need to stop putting Lakers on TV.
Yes, the Lakers too. I love the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan.
Hey, they won last night. But
I don't care. They done. Look,
let the new stuff come on up, man.
Look. Let me say this: the future of the NBA is Ja Morant. Ja is a monster. He's a beast.
Ben Simmons needs to go too. Him and his stank attitude.
I'm gonna say I just had to look. I had to get it off. That's my final thought. Y'all got. I'm gonna pass it to y'all. That's my final thought. That's my final thought for the week. I'm gonna throw it to you, K-Dub. What you got? Final thoughts.
Yeah.
I had to get it out.
Kyler Murray, you quit tripping too. All right, next.
Thank you. I mean, damn, pouting all the time.
Yeah,
dude.
Once, yeah, but ain't no playoff. Man, cut it out.
He got the pout on his mouth.
Yeah,
he walking around like a grown man with a pout.
Yeah,
you know what is that?
Like, man, what a playoff game, you midget. Go ahead though.
You got anything else, K-Dub?
That's it, man.
All right, what you?
I'm up here, so anyway.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, what about you, Wild? Oh, Wild, maybe you got some poetic piece. You got some piece for us. We might need some right now.
You
Take
need
it out.
some.
Look me eye to eye. Take a journey from the time we're created. Product of how two people related. Power of another's masturbation. Done stepped in and molded our creation. Strong image of self needed for motivation. What we prepare to do when it comes down to us. Intimidation is a form of voodoo used to make our dreams fail us. On the front line, to the people, remain true. Take any human for granted, we're doubting the seeds that's been planted. Interpretation needed on how we're relating, good versus evil, in our mind debating, build an empire for us. Mindset, dead end, motivation needed. Do you comprehend? Look me eye to eye.
Go ahead. Said the M word and everybody looked up.
Woohoo! She got your attention.
Go ahead, Wild. All right, Tanya B, you got any last thoughts, Tanya B? I heard.
People, these mask mandates have been relaxed. Don't believe the hype. There's a new variant out there, and it's not front page news now because everything is Ukraine. But you know what? Let's live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, here's the thing, and I'm gonna throw it out there. And I had the conversation with somebody at the beginning of the year. I told them, I said, look, March, y'all, COVID or no, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna give y'all till March, and it's March. I'm gonna do my thing, and family same way. We're gonna get out. We're gonna do our thing. We're gonna continue to protect ourselves. But don't be living like you in a, what do you call it, the doomsday cult. You know what I'm saying? Don't go into the to the deep undercover and won't come out. You're gonna have to get out there, y'all. So if you want to wear your mask, and wear your mask, but live. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the variants ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop coming, but live.
One of my friends was saying that, hey, we gotta live. Look, they didn't put that any numbers after the Super Bowl, but we didn't think about the youth is taking over everything. You haven't heard numbers from Super Bowl attendance, for COVID at all.
But it's like the numbers, the variants. Again, I'm a believer, and I don't want to get in. I don't play the misinformation thing. You use whatever guidelines. I mean, CDC and your doctors. But I think as Black people, we need to start thinking about the things that made us have a higher susceptibility to the disease. For the next one, we need to start thinking about our health, what we eat, to really strengthen our immunity for whatever's to come. We need to start planning for what's to come. What's done is done, but we need to ask ourselves, well, why was I more susceptible? Why am my family more susceptible? We need to start working that out.
Right on.
From a lot of different people, but it really depends.
Stop living on ramen noodles and hugs, first of all.
Yeah. But a lot. But on the real tip, Tanya B, a lot of people can't help it. They can't afford that's all they can afford.
I get it now, but I get it with the hugs. There's this thing called water, and even I'm not gonna lie, I like the noodles. I don't use the that I call it the salt pack. Just cut it in half. Just again, it's just about let's be smart and let's think a little bit, folks. Just think. That's all I got to say. Just think.
Eat some greens, some green stuff. Yeah.
But
I don't mean weed either.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about Yeah, I mean, it's not, we don't have to do anything other than the fact that it's something that probably is more prescribed to our lifestyle that helps us become less susceptible to disease. We need to be thinking about prevention. That's just not just mine. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's like we need to be talking about prevention for the next variant or the next COVID. We need to be talking about that right now, so. All right, y'all. With that, I'm gonna throw it to you. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna throw it to you, Bane.
I'm gonna watch the Batman movie and see which one of y'all right about this Batman movie. See.
I'm gonna throw it to Batman 2. Go ahead, Batman.
We sending it Dragon Con or something so they can dress up.
I'm gonna dress up, man. I might wear. I don't know. I might wear. I might wear that suit.
I don't do that. I'm not that serious with it now.
I might wear that suit. Give me that suit. Send me the real suit. Don't send me the long johns with the hat, with the helmet. No, don't send me that. Send me the real suit. Bob, what you got? Go ahead.
Okay. Since Jesus invite us to cast all of our cares and worry on him, why do so many of us refuse to let go? Apparently, we're not yet fed up with being miserable. The only way to have victory in our lives is to play by God's rules. And he said we must quit worrying if we want to have peace. So when things comes our way that cause us to be concerned, we need God's help. So if your way isn't working, why not try God's way? All of us will be better off if we learn to lean on God and ask for his help. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. In other words, people, we can't do it on our own. God is here. He said, if you ask, you shall receive, but you must live by his way. That's all he asks. He said, if you don't want to worry, don't worry. Ask me. Be patient, and I'll take care of you. Amen. Amen.
Amen. I'm going to give it up for Bob. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You redeem yourself from that mess.
Hallelujah.
I redeemed myself.
Yes, you did.
I need to ban you for talking about Batman, making him garden.
All right, whatever. All right, y'all. Don't forget, if you need the link, if you need the player, the main player, you can text GPOD. That's G. P as in Paul. O. D as in David. GPOD. Text that to 470-928-1255. And I will send you the link. You can keep it, and you can use that to subscribe, listen to the show, keep that link. And it is your one thing. Listen to the podcast. As soon as we get a new episode uploaded, it'll go to that. Plus, you can subscribe to all your different platforms. Apple, you can subscribe to Spotify. You can subscribe to Stitcher. All those are on that player. So, again, you can text GPOD, 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 to 470-928-1255, y'all. And with that, episode 120 is in the can, and we are out of here, y'all. Peace.
Later.
COVID is real.